Okay. Well, yeah, there's some husbands that are going to look for me tonight through the middle of the night. And they found out from another wealthy husband kind of where to go and what to do. I'm not going to lie, children of God, you wouldn't be very impressed and excited and proud. This is what one daddy did. Oh, hey, truckers, is there anything I can do to help Bonnie in secret? Because I'm just a good man, and I just want to help Bonnie in secret because I'm just a good man, and I want to help Bonnie in secret. Here's the truckers. Well, she's old and ugly if you're trying to get a hot girl. She's mostly just somebody who keeps to herself and talks to us on the phone, by messaging on Facebook or making a video. So all you're going to do is talk to her on the Facebook from far away creatively, or she mostly just keeps to herself. And remember, she's old and ugly, so like there's no like hot chick reality to any of this. Now here's the husband. Well, alright, thanks. Then here's the husband. Well, I'm just gonna sit in this car and sit in this car and sit in this car. Then I go out to go to the bathroom. Well, she sure is old and ugly. That part was completely true. But I came out here as a good man to try to help out. These truckers don't really know how to help her out. How can I help her out? How can I make her life a little bit better? Well, I'll just go home and try to see how maybe I can help her life here and there. Then you got another husband. Hey, truckers, I'm just trying to keep eye on Bonnie like probably everybody. She's old and ugly and keeps to herself, and I don't know how anybody would help her, but like us truckers try to watch over her, make sure she's basically as safe as everybody in here or whatever. You know, we try to be like the neighborhood watch of the area, so like that's probably all you could do for her. Kind of just watch over her, know she's safe. You know, so like it's covered because we do that. Then here's the husband. Well, I'll just sit here in the car and see if I'd want to do anything extra for her. So they sit in the car. Wow, she's old, she's ugly. Why am I out here? I would not serve the old and the ugly. Now, children of God, listen to this husband. So this is a different husband that came in. Well, hello, truckers. I'm just trying to give a shit about that Bonnie weird thing. Well, alright, she's over there. She's Bonnie and she's the weird thing. Oh, yeah, she's overly ugly and old. And, like, I don't know, we can't just watch over her as truckers because, like, just make sure she's basically safe. Okay, well, I'm just gonna poke around and see if I can be a blessing in her life. See if I can think of things I can do to help out. Then he goes to sit in the car. Well, she is very fat. She's very, very fat and old. Very fat and old. Very, very fat and old. Man, she is very, 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 very fat and old. Man, is she very, very, very fat and old. You know, it kind of looks like they do butcher her up from the inside. She never would have looked like this, and I know it. You can tell they probably butcher the fuck out of her from the inside, because she would have never looked like this. I know her too well to ever think she'd just sit around and live this shitty. Somebody's doing this to her. And she never cared about money. She never worshipped money or anything, but like, she liked to have a basic life where she had the money she needed for just the things that she needed to be doing. So how can she be famous around the world and she can't drum up enough money to just live decent in front of everybody all the time? Holy shit, this shit's real. What would I do to find some country that cares about her so I could care about her in secret with entire countries and people that know some big group of bad people is doing this? Well, he didn't get anywhere. So he went home and thought, well, I guess I'll show up here and there and see when I find these wonderful people. So he went home. I was pretty impressed that he was giving really good answers. And he really gave a shit about anything enough to just notice anything that he'd want to care about. Because, dumb shits. The victims around the world, you can't tell they're being preyed on. And you can't tell they're victims. Until some Mary Ellen Johnston can't brag enough that they all murder and you have to stop telling the truth. Or whatever. Until you have someone so corrupt that has murdered so much that they don't care what they threaten. These people absolutely act like there is no victim and nobody knows what anybody's talking about. If you notice shit out of their asses is not a shit they would ever take, they'll just find some other shit that matches what they would normally take and put that up their ass. If you notice the piss is like some weird sicko put piss up somebody else's bladder, they'll just try to mimic and imitate the exact piss of whoever you're watching. So the United States and Dubai are the most creepy, grossest, disgusting criminals ever known. They absolutely will wallow around in anything dead body related like it's nothing. And they all have a weird, gross addiction to shoving criminal or victim piss and crap and more up butts, up cervixes, like just the most sickening, sick in the head, grossest shit you could ever imagine that can be done to things. So I told that husband what I just told you guys, and I said, are you sure you want to help these countries? You have no idea what they're being put through, what they're going through, or what they have to be subjected to. And just remember, once you see that people are capable of such sick, disgusting acts, you can't unremember it. So do you really, really want to help countries stuck in the worst nightmares of all this shit and what it's brought upon tons of victims and more? Or do you want to just help me help a few victims, maybe help a few husbands, and do some helpful things from your job, from your home, from your life? When you join with a country that has way too much evidence, you're going to realize the real magnitude. It's like going into ISIS to see all the people that loved God or something, so they had to get treated the most, raped and starved and horrifying and beat on, worst mistreatment. Or it's like going into a Hitler camp and realizing how horrifying they will be to good or normal realities, which in the days of Hitler was blonde hair, blue eyes, reminded him of an angel or a beautiful goodness of God. He could not treat those people like dead fuck you garbage enough, and preyed on them and did sick, horrible things to them. So these countries are obviously targeting what seems like good or amazing or something God's would love. Ends up their worst targets all the time. So this husband was like, I don't know, that seems too much. Like, I don't know, I'd probably fall apart. I don't know if I'd be able to handle it. And I was like, well, see, that's why I said, if you want to just help in whatever ways you can help, that might be better. Some people can jump into some sick shit and say, I'm a hero, I'm a badass, I don't care if they're all half dead with half their organs falling out. I'm not going to let nobody down. And some other husband would say, I'm going to vomit if I see organs falling out of something. I can't. That's not my level. I can't be going to that place. I have to, and see. And I was telling him, that's why we're having this talk. So you could customize going to work, very small, but makes a difference for everybody. And maybe just gives up a little bit of time out of your time here and there. All the way up to the scary, sickening reality of how much countries actually are going through and how much they don't. It's up to you. You can pick. So I helped that guy who is he's a coin-eyed husband. So he's already dead in my death or drowned in my death. Already highly, sickeningly powerful. And coins in his eyes. But just because you're laced in the power of the greatest God ever known, doesn't mean that he knows how to get up and fight or fight to the death or be able to handle somebody's organ falling out. And remember what I told you. The United States and Dubai were raping babies to get... The United States and Dubai were raping babies to death and laughing while their intestines were falling out. And they were walking around with their intestines on the ground. So, the amount of hate and rage and anger is always going to be really big. The amount of watching crime until it makes you sick and enrages you is always going to be there. These are very, very bad criminals. Or people altered in death that would have never been bad people and are now so scary and so bad it would make anyone want to vomit. Especially when you think about the fact that they'd never be bad people. Normally, they would have never been bad people. But they got altered in death by force by these countries and are highly scary now. But it's all from being broken and broken till they're like scary dead zombies. It's actually sad. And that's kind of how it's going, children of God. You get some really badass, amazing fucks, man. Because all you have to do is pay attention. There was a husband that just paid attention and knew all the victims in the area that were among bad people. Brought in as carnage toys. There was a husband that identified truckers trying to look for Dubai in the United States in bad ways to see what bad things they could get in on. And that husband started being able to see the good men in the area from the bad men in the area. There was another husband with coin eyes that could not stop having a reaction to when I blink my eyes, when I talk, when I breathe. And he did something so amazing, it would make any angel or God cry. He said, well, I have a reaction that's so extreme to every damn thing she does. It's off the charts. I'm going to go to my queen, my queen, my queen. And I'm going to ask these gods how to take these extreme reactions and do something nice for everybody. Goodness gracious, everybody could use a hero. There's got to be a way all these extreme reactions can help people and not just be something I have to keep going through or feeling and understanding more and more all the time. There's got to be a way that the way my heart flutters around her, that I could save a baby, save an angel, save somebody. The way my soul or something deep in the pit of my stomach wants to fly. Maybe the gods can teach me how something inside me does fly and can help somebody. So every now and then, children of God, you get some husband out of dreams that proves that if anybody's just conscientious, cares, pays attention, you'd be amazed what anyone could become. But for every amazing husband, you get piles of weird shallow howls. You know that movie, Shallow Hal. You get 5 billion tons of just dirtbag losers or losers. You get 5 billion tons of judgmental blah, blah, blah. But if God's around, things are always weird. Angels always dress like hobos. Angels don't walk around to be honored or worshipped. They always walk around like hobos or something. Or an angel barely shows up to talk to you or something and they leave right away. Nobody is interested in knowing anybody until they're worth the power of God or being able to be known and be part of the power of God. So nobody from heaven is going to come down here and act normal. They're all going to act weird because they're powerful, they have everything, they are everything, and they want to know who the hell you are. So they don't want to know a husband just because it's a husband. They want the husband to keep making answers and choices and prove whether they, as powerful giants, want to get to know that particular husband. So no, it's been, you wouldn't want to watch the show as children of God. You'd get mad or want to yell or kind of get pouty that not enough men are as beautiful or good of men as they pretend. You'd want to get grouchy that these men worked with gods to be something and yet are just making asses out of themselves like it's nothing around everybody's stuff. Like, you'd want to go through a billion things to be angry or power or whatever, because you get like 2%, 3% that are worth anything. And the rest mostly are comedy hour, joke show, ask themselves. And then all about the humor against me, but like, I already know you can do that forever. I already checked with everybody and they said I was natural. I was gonna buy a Victoria's Secret robe, get a really fancy wine glass from like a wine tasting fancy vineyard or something, and sit on top of the car like some kind of rich eccentric, you know, but like put my laundry in the door of the car to dry. So it's obvious homeless loser acting wealthy eccentric. I was going to overdo it to sit and lavishly understand what day I'm in as a dead, overdone weirdo God. Overdo making fun of me or whatever and build it against everybody. But like, according to everybody, I'm a natural. I look so embarrassing everything I do, no matter what I do. So I don't need to like redo the scenarios to be more embarrassing. So see, I already know that people could easily just go to town against me. And apparently it's really that easy to just be against my existence. But, children of God, what kind of daddy would you want? You'd want the husband that says, my queen, my queen, my queen, can you break down exactly who she is, what she's been through, what's real, and just prove all of it, because like, I just gotta know for sure. See, that would be a real daddy. You'd want that kind of daddy, because that kind of daddy would be like, Zeus, sit down. I have to know everything, because daddy feels like somebody got an out here, and I'm not putting up with this. Zeus, Aphrodite, everybody sit. I have to put everything together with God's meticulously. I think somebody's getting something, but somebody's getting hurt and something bad's going on. And if nothing bad's going on, then no God will be able to confirm anything through my queen, my queen, my queen, because it wouldn't be real. Like, and every now and then we play games through my queen, my queen, my queen, and more too. But like, so far, children of God, that's how amazing life it really is. So we'll keep you guys posted.